everybody that is watching today. My name is Kimberley Leite. If those of you who are not familiar with me, and I channel the beings of the light, and I'm a counselor, light language alchemist, spiritual ascension teacher. So I am joined with my wonderful friends here for the next Ascension Roundtable. The topic today is disguised ascension teachers within your oneness reality. So before we get into it today, I'm going to just go around and get everybody to do a brief intro about themselves. I'm sure many of you know these wonderful people here today, but in case you're coming in and you haven't watched these roundtables before or new to this, we'll go through everyone, a little brief introduction, and then we'll start with a light language meditation. So so welcome. I'll go to you, Isabelle, and you want to start doing a little brief introduction?
Hello, my friends. I'm so glad you're here with my brothers and sisters. And we are talking about the ascension. And yes, most humans are not even aware what an ascension is. And I am a full-time ascension teacher. So when you ascend, you gain psychic abilities. And so I have an online psychic course. I'm doing tarot cards for children, an ascension newly awakened handbook to help you navigate your ascension. Thank you so much, Kimberly. What about you, Max? Want to go next?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Welcome to this evening roundtable. So I, like everyone else, work with energies, healing, and I'm going to specialize on wealth and lack, working the lack, taking away the lack, and giving you your wealth. I mean, I don't give you the wealth, you have the wealth, and you realize it. And then everything else. So who's next? Let's go to Jenni.
Hi guys, I'm Jenni. I have my little buddy here. This is Theron. He's gonna probably be coming in and out because he's not taking a nap today. But, so I'm Jenni. I am an ascension guide. I'm a blogger. I do tarot, all of the above. And so I'm super excited to be here with all these lovely folks just to have a chit chat about some ascension stuff.
What are you?
Oh, Daniel's next, I think.
Hi, my name is Daniel. And pardon me, I'm getting over some bronchitis. But I channel in written form. I have a blog called Answers from the Oracle, as well as a Facebook group. And would love for anybody out there who has a question for non-physical to answer, to submit your questions, join the group. I do post my channelings on there and would love to see you there. And I'm going to turn it over to the fabulous Roxy.
Thank you, Daniel. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan. Odyssey of Ascension is my little dealio. I'm a channel. YouTube, Odyssey of Ascension, lots of information, 700-800 videos about perspectives of what ascension is and that kind of idea, finding yourself on this wonderful journey of separation. So thanks all for tuning in, and let's enjoy the ride as we offer perspectives of the journey. And now it's Nikki, Bobiki, Banana. Hi, Nikki.
Banana, Nana, Popiki. Hi, everybody. Nikki here. I live in France, and I just love these conversations. So I'm an energy therapist, and also a hypnotherapist and a channel for myself. And yeah, an Ascension teacher. In fact, Isabelle and I are creating a course on the Ascension teachings and integration, and that's an exciting project for both of us. But tonight I'm here as a light worker and someone who's been working on herself for a really long time, moving into oneness as opposed to duality. So I'm here to share my experience with you and also to hear what all of you have to say about that. Over to you, Kimberly.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for allowing the audience to get to know you a little bit better. All righty. So before we get into our disguised Ascension teachers, I would like to do a meditation for you all. So if it's the first time that you're tuning in, I'm a light language alchemist. So I channel light language. I channel the divine Elohim while I do this. So basically it involves me toning, and I channel healing and ascension source codes. I like to call it meditation on steroids because it really deeply allows you to bypass the ego to really connect with your inner being. It helps to activate your dormant DNA, what science likes to call junk DNA, and really helps to raise your vibration and to release any density energies within you that no longer serves you. So because it's an activated meditation, depending on what you need to release, some points it might not be relaxing, but yeah, it'll activate whatever is needed within you. I will also set the intentions and I'll imprint the energy for this to assist us all to have more clarity in connecting with our inner being, and for us to see, since the topic today is master teachers in disguise, for us to recognize when we're interacting with a master teacher, whether it's an overt teacher or one in disguise, and we'll get into this a bit later, and for us to have more clarity on seeing the soul lessons when we are triggered with a negative emotion. And yeah, and I'll also invite Max to play his crystal bowls while we do this. So yeah, this will be a brief one. If you guys tuned into this previously, there will be no guided section. I'll go straight into the toning today. So yeah, everybody, when you're ready, just close your eyes, relax, and we shall begin. I'm just going to take a moment just to get into the trance state, and then we shall begin. And Max, over to you when you're ready to start playing your crystal bowls. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. As you focus now on your heart center, and as you breathe and exhale, notice the lightness of body, the lightness of being. Notice any physical sensations, energetic sensations. As you are now connected to the source essence within, as you are now vibrating in a higher dimensional existence in your present now. Focus now on the bottom of your feet. Envision roots from the bottom of your feet. As they grow downwards beneath you to the heart of Mother Gaia, to the heart of Mother Earth. As you envision these roots below you, you see a brilliant rose pink light. You feel the love. This is the heart of Mother Gaia. As you see your roots now entering this brilliant rose pink light with golden light emanating within. And as you thank her for this interaction, she sends you in this exchange. She sends you her grounding love. And you see this brilliant golden light move up your roots. As it moves up into the bottom of your feet, travels up into your heart space. And breathe as she grounds you, as you become grounded in your physical reality in the now. As you breathe, feel the connection with all that is in the present now. And when you are ready, slowly open your eyes. Thank you for this interaction. It is with the love that we come through today. Welcome back, everybody. I invite you all just to grab some water if you are feeling thirsty. The meditation that we had involved a lot of energy activation, so your body will now be going through a detox. So just listen to your body. And I hope you all enjoyed that today. And those of you that are just tuning in now, you can catch the meditation on the replay. All right. Well, as we welcome everybody back from the meditation, today's topic is your ascension teachers in disguise. So, ascension teachers, who are they and where are they? Well, in a overt way, in a known way, we are ascension teachers, but there are many other ascension teachers that perhaps you're not aware of because they are ascension teachers in disguise. Yes, some of them are in spirit, some of them are not in spirit. So, of course, your spirit guides, all that is, are always there assisting you as your ascension teachers from spirit. And there were other lesser known teachers in disguise. And who are they? They are the ones that trigger you in negative emotion. Yes. They are your master teachers. When you experience negative emotion, when you are triggered by another, they are playing a role for you. They then, in that moment, become your mirror, reflecting a limiting belief that you have, an aspect of you that you have repressed, that you are not loving. It can be a belief about yourself, about others, or about your reality. You can, in the moment, see the belief there, but it takes practice. But know that if you're triggered by negative emotion in the moment, then that other person or condition becomes, in that moment, your master teacher. They are lovingly playing a role for you out of a higher love. So in the moment, if you can recognize that they are playing this role for you as a master teacher, you're already declaring to the universe that you're ready for this soul lesson. And just in that recognition, by you being able to be in loving acceptance in the moment, even if you cannot see the soul lesson there, you will find the situation will shift because they are always reflecting your vibration. So if you can be in a place of unconditional love, which is unconditional acceptance, you don't have to agree with the behaviors or the conditions, but you can be in acceptance of it. You release the resistance, and then you'll find it will shift in the moment, and you'll have more clarity to see the soul lesson and play. You can, in the moment, ask yourself, what am I not seeing here? What am I judging? Am I judging this person is wrong? The condition is wrong? What is it? If it's in relation to a specific context, what are your beliefs on that subject matter? Are you seeing it from a point of separation, of duality, or are you seeing the oneness? You can, with practice, go inwards and actually ask your inner being, your higher self, what the soul lesson is. What is the part of you that you are not loving, that you are not accepting? You see, this is how we remember our oneness state. It is making aware of our inner shadows. These are our separated aspects of self. And when we become aware of our inner shadows, our limiting beliefs, which are our traumas, irrational beliefs, perceptions of duality, we actually transmute those, peel back those layers of the onion, and remember who we are one step at a time. This is a game. Reality is a master game, and we are all master teachers to each other. Yep. So when you can know that those that trigger negative emotion within you are master teachers, knowing that all conditions that trigger negative emotion are teachers, knowing that you have both the overt and covert teachers in your reality, then you can move through reality from a state of true freedom because you know you are truly not a victim. And how liberating is that to know that you are not a victim, to know that you are all in co-creation with one another to assist you in the remembrance of who you are. So you can even practice gratitude for the soul lessons being played out. And with overt teachers like us, go with what resonates with you. If something resonates with you, you are remembering this information for yourself. It is like the wisdom within you from your inner being is permeating to the surface of your conscious awareness. And that's what resonance is. But of course, there's many ways that teachers can provide wisdom to you. And we'll go into this now with everyone here today. And of course, we've got, all our spirit guides. And guess what? All our spirit guides, all the universe and all that is, they're not outside of us, they are within us. So if you can be more in the present moment as well, you can fine-tune yourself with clarity to receive that wisdom within. And yes, also, because who we are is truly multidimensional. And guess what happens in that moment? You, in your multidimensional reality, can also be a disguised teacher. I myself have awareness of this. Me in one of my future dimensional realities shows me information from time to time. And this is my future self giving me a message saying, head in this direction. So this also happens. So you are guiding you at the end of the day, because all that is you, is part of oneness. We are all unique frequencies of oneness, of source essence. So it's about playing the game one step at a time, being aware, one step at a time. And this is why we have duality, to catalyze us. So if we can change our perceptions to fear itself, this will further liberate you from the victim mentality paradigm and to allow you to live in joy and freedom. So with that, I will open it up to the panelists. So yeah, jump in, guys, whoever wants to jump in first, go ahead.
All right, I'll jump in. Go ahead, Nikki.
Okay,
I'll go right after you.
All right. First of all, thank you, Kimberly, for the light language, and thank you, Max, for the bowls. I just absolutely was vibrating. My head was buzzing, and I was in another state, and I thank you for that. And I loved, of course, everything that you said, Kimberly, as always. And it's so clear, and it sounds so easy when she says it, doesn't it? But there were a couple of things I wrote down the things that sparked something within me. So the first one was that we can accept these things even if we don't agree with the behavior. And I'd like to just share a little bit about that, because when I first really got into these teachings, I became a doormat because everything was perfect all the time, right? And I wasn't really tuning into my emotions, because I was supposed to just see everything as right, and knowing that everybody around me was a master teacher and that I was doing a lot of work with my limiting beliefs. But there was one thing I wasn't looking at, and that was the feelings I had around the things that were happening. So I was in that victim mentality, transitioning into something else. And of course, I will go back to that victim mentality, because that is the 3D reality or world we're in. And, things happen. And for me, sometimes it's just a short reaction, and then I can move into that space of seeing it as right and perfect. But first I might go into some anger, or it might trigger that vibration of feeling sad and being betrayed or abandoned or whatever. So I wanted to talk about that, because the other thing you said, Kimberly, was practicing gratitude when triggered. So that's what I was doing at the beginning of these teachings. I was going right into it's what we call a spiritual bypass, having something happen in the external conditions, being triggered, and then mentally saying, oh, no, it's for me, everything's perfect, but I'm not working through the emotions that I'm feeling in my body, and I'm denying them because I want to be so perfect that everybody loved me, being the spiritual person, right? So that's what I wanted to say. I want to say that what I've learned is that it's really important to have the human experience. That's why we're here. The human experience is to feel our emotions and to allow the emotions to be there and not see them as wrong, and then begin the inward journey to look at, okay, I'm feeling sad. I'm feeling sad. This feels really familiar. What's this about? Okay, it's about abandonment. And then go in and clear the perhaps unresolved trauma. And what I've seen through my work is that the trauma goes down. I don't know if it ever, I would say that the stories are no longer charged, and I'm not reactive, and my clients, I can see how things just go down, and so I'm still having that human experience where I might have that initial reaction, but whereas it used to last years or months, it lasts like a few minutes, because I've become a witness to what I'm living. And that's when we're tuning into our guides, we're getting the guidance at that point. But I just wanted to say that thing about the emotion that you're feeling, because no emotion that we feel is ever wrong. It's information. The reason we have emotion is to get information. And it's funny because I do ecstatic dance on Sunday afternoons, and there was a song came on, and I felt this like sadness. It brought on the sadness, and I was like a witness to the sadness. I allowed it to be there. It moved through me, and then I made a conscious decision that that's really a chapter that I've closed, that story about being abandoned and rejected. It was just a little visit to remind me how much joy there is in this reality. So this doesn't happen overnight, okay? It just doesn't happen overnight. And for me, allowing, we talk about the dark night of the soul. So, if we are getting triggered, especially when it's something that it feels the same every single time, they're doing it wrong again, or, the triggers, we get really familiar with them. It's like a scent, it's like a perfume. We know exactly what that trigger is about at some point when you really deep dive and know who you are. And that's where it's really helpful to get a pen and paper down and start looking at it. I mean, I work with energy, so tapping and stuff like that, going back and re-imprinting the trauma, taking it out and looking at it's really good. But yeah, I think it's really important to go beyond acknowledging the trigger and moving into gratitude. There's work in between. Thanks so much.
So I'm going to jump in. Kimberly and I have been doing Zoom calls for, I don't know, Kimberly, 4 years-ish. And Lakishma, her mother from Atlantis, the ruler of Atlantis, would always say to me in Kimberly's channeling, "Oh, just love your brothers and sisters. Oh, that's wonderful. You're getting triggered." And I would laugh, but secretly wanted to kill her, and she's non-physical. And so I'm like, "Oh, Lakishma." But Lakishma like drilled it into my head. Like, it's for me, it's for me. It's divine, it's wonderful. They're playing roles for me, and it's okay. And I think Nikki touched upon doing that inner soul work. And we examine a limited belief, and we see if it's beneficial or not beneficial, and we go to our head, then we go into our heart, then we bring into our body, and there are really phases and stages. And then when you get like really good at it, then the next thing you know, you're doing past life healing, and you're like, oh my goodness. And so it is so interesting that your teachers can be non-physical, can be different aspects of you, can be in your physical reality, the variety of forms of teachers is endless. And so I just wanted to share that with all of you listening to this call, that no matter where you are in your ascension journey, there is always deeper and greater understanding of all that is. And so you kind of need to like practice being triggered and being in the fear and being uncomfortable and feeling it, and really use your heart, your mind, and feel it in your body to change an energetic pattern. And that takes practice. That is not like, okay, I gave you the answer. Now just go do the math problem. You know, there are layers to it, but just keep at it. Keep practicing. When you are triggered, Lakishma would always say, they are my master teachers. So when your husband pisses you off, or your boyfriend or girlfriend or your cat or your dogs even, it's okay. It really is for you to understand more of who you are, you know, and this journey is about believing in yourself. So that's the part that I wanted to share, the little bit of the magic, because I love to play in the magic.
Okay, I'll go. So I'm just reminded right now about my dad. So my dad was a machinist by trade. He made parts that were used in the oil and gas industry. And my dad told me a story that is coming to me. And that is, there was one time he was working on the shop floor. He was pretty much the best guy in that group as far as making the calibrations and whatnot to manufacture parts. And this executive type person or senior management person walked onto the shop floor, asked for the floor manager and said, okay, I want your best guy to run these specs and make this part for me, okay? And so that was assigned to my dad. And the guy, meaning the senior manager, said exactly what he wanted, specifications, whatnot. When the guy left, my dad recalibrated everything and did it the way that he knew would work to make that part. And when that guy came back, he got a hold of the floor manager and said, I told your guy to make it this, and this way. And my dad was standing there and he said, well, why didn't you do what I asked? And my dad said, I'm not going to give you what you want. I'm going to give you what you need. And for me, like that phrase there is the embodiment of who my dad was in my life in some respects, but just also how the universe works. Sometimes we think we want things a certain way, and it's really not what we need for our growth and our ascension. So sometimes when you don't, quote unquote, get what you want, that particular response from somebody, that validation that you think you need, okay, that agreement, because start to question, okay, is it that I am so insecure in what I know and what I think that I've got to have that externally validated to believe it as my truth? So those are the ways that those people in your life, awake or unawake, can facilitate that inner growth and that ascension in you.
Looks like it's me. Hi. So I wrote a few things down. On my journey, I realized that positive emotions are a limitation themselves because they're based on a human emotion that gives me a sense of acceptance. In my perspective, since we're separated and we're empty of our own isness, our own awareness, the external journey of the fractal perceives itself as outside of itself. Therefore, it is divided against creation in and of itself and experiences that relationship as a human journey, nothing else. I'm not going to make it special. I'm not going to decorate it with a pile of shit. I think we busy ourselves with externalization on what it means. It's not what it means to the memory or the identity. It's how you relate to it. So negative and positive in and of itself is a world of condition for me, because I don't know what joy is beyond my perception of joy that I've been taught through the human experience. I don't know what hope is unless I understand hope, and then in hope I get to feel disappointment. If I feel success, I know I get to feel failure. I know the world is encouched in that separation. To go beyond polarity is an internal journey, and the external, let's say, attractions that we would label as triggers and teachers and stuff is part of the journey. But there's something I'd like to draw your attention to. At some point, you can stop being taught. It's okay. Because when you know everything isn't a lesson in that relationship, then it becomes enlightening. Because if it's a lesson for me, then I have to learn the lesson according to a status. The status is an emotion that says the lesson learned for whatever validation of my ego, or an external validation says I got it. But there's an intimacy in each singularity that beckons no validation at all. It's an isness that's beyond in the need of repair. It doesn't need anything. It knows itself because it is its own divinity. And that state of being is a journey. And all of these masters before you are the same masters that you have in your everyday life. Now, you can label them, you can externalize them, you can put causality and meaning to them. You can do that because it's your journey. But please don't forget you're already a creator. And as Kimberly pointed out, we're just peeling away the diarrhea. We built up shit for an experience. And that experience is very valid because we don't create half-ass realities. You guys heard me say that. We create full-bore 100% pain, suffering, hope, success, joy, ecstasy. Anything that you can materialize as a relationship to reality, we don't do with 1 ounce of less than all that is, right? Phenomenal. So in that relationship, know that you're going home. Everyone goes home. Despite whatever diarrhea someone's trying to sell you pain, know that you are an eternal creator, you're not a mistake, and your worth of the journey is just a sign of your mastery. So one day you can stop being taught and just look at this. And now we're going to go with Nikki. When Nikki says about that self and look at that self, I called it the surrender of the honesty. It doesn't happen overnight. It may get triggered again, but you got to sit with that and make it your best friend. Because here's how I saw it one day. And I'm talking to my crew of Siphias. Siphias says, put the pain outside of you. Put it as a cause. That guy's an asshole. Fucking asshole. I'm triggered. My trigger. He's still an asshole. Right? Doesn't matter because he's actually what? What is he? He's unconditional. He's a reality being himself. And I'm triggered by that condition because I have a state of frequency, a relationship of truth that I coveted that sees that in a way of polarity. And then I may say, well, if that guy wasn't that, our world would be better, as if the world is in peril. Or do I see the world's in peril? So I'm looking at my belief system and I'm allowing those people, they might piss me off, but you know, they're separated. I can make whatever I think to allow them to be that. Go ahead. Now let's look at the nasty that I created. The belief system of rage or hate or wrongdoing. And I got to get in bed with that bitch. I got to make love to her. So Osifia said to me and says, hey, put it outside of you and see that it's conditioned. Now look at you in full surrender. Full surrender, you have no conditions because your natural state is unconditional. So if you bring the condition into the unconditional, doesn't that transform it unconditional? Or does the big bad condition make you a piece of shit? No, it doesn't. Because you create your own reality. And there's a temperament when this journey is that relationship. Something of a noticeable status like, goddamn, I'm doing the work. I can feel the change in me. We're so hell-bent on externalization change, priding ourselves on the validation of scripture that is opposing to us when it's not opposing. It's a subjective reality created for our own reflections to experience the journey of humanity. So the triggers are about you in every now, but you don't have to call them necessarily those things anymore because you're enough. And if you're willing to accept that honesty in the self, do that brutal breakdown and go, my God, this is me. I don't like what you're doing. I don't think you should do that. My son will never do that, or my daughter won't do that, or my boss is this, and whatever diarrhea you can use as an excuse to feel your image as a separated unit. If you have the humility in the moment to see that self as a created relationship to reality of the human experience, well, then from the divinity of you, you can see it. And if you can see the conditioning, then you can change it. You don't change the conditioning in the conditioning itself. That's laws. Laws don't work. Preaching doesn't work. Making everyone be what they're supposed to be in the eyes of the common good doesn't work. We're already one. Where's the fucking individual in this journey? Where's the singular I am that shapes and creates reality without apology? That's in there through all that muck and mire. So you look at honesty and spot it and accept it with surrender and allow it to pass through you for a day, 2 days. And if it calls you to be angry, if it calls you to be hate, if it calls you to be hope, if it calls you to be betrayal, whatever relationship that is, live it. And that is a transfiguration of relationship. You want to know everyone here is transfigured something? Ready? It's easy. Think back 10 years ago. There was a self that you knew. We all have dead selves. They died with no energy because we stopped focusing on them. Hairstyles, clothes you wear, boyfriends you were, you thought you were in love, you know? It's like, God, I love him. I die for him. And now you're like, what the fuck was I thinking? Because we had experiences of truths. We're never false. We're never wrongs. We're always the vibration of our created self in the moment for the experience of the human journey. And that recognition and the cycle and using the vibratory idea of that identity continues the cycle of humanity. Once you recognize that wonderful created self for the experience, and it no longer serves you, as Kimberly said, then you have the balls now to let it go because you're enough without it. And the only way to realize that, now going to Abraham, don't focus on it. Energy follows awareness. You focus on it, you sow it, you reap it. You sow it, you reap it. Someone had said to me, emailed me and says, Roxy, I've been struggling with this for 7 years. And I was like, look away from it. And then she had a diarrhea of excuses why she had to stay there, which creates a reality because her ego was selling her story of identity, imagery, which gave her the value that soothed the emptiness of separation. And that emptiness filled with the image over and over again, whether it's cyclic or not, is regardless to the vibration of the consciousness or the ego, because the ego doesn't have a conscience. It's a point of view. It's a created belief system. It's not alive going, meh. It's what you value, you create. And all of those dead selves you left in the past, the beauty of your own evolution, when you see one today, you can let go of that. And then you understand that co-creation is built in, oneness is built in. The externalization is a way to relate to reality through human experience, not right or wrong, it's choice. And you see those masters around you are as literal as the habits of your daily routine might be a master teacher. The person wearing a mask or not wearing a mask when everyone's supposed to be vaccinated, the vaccination in itself. They don't have to lead you down a road of polarity, do they? Because beyond polarity is discovered. And if you used polarity to try to imagine non-polarity, you need a bus to get back to fucked. Because you can't use separation to understand the unconditional. So do that master work and realize that all of these panelists before you, your journey into this moment is part of that. And then when you turn away and this YouTube is gone and now it's in your memory and you have a focus now and that's your now and those things come upon you. Those are your now teachers, not your lessons of time necessarily. You can have those, but just be in the now and look at the world. And then in sometimes when it gets too much and you feel the responsibility of being an image of a spiritualist, put it the fuck down and be okay with your own existence at that moment. I'm good.
Thank you. That was wonderful. Max, did you want to go? Or Jenny?
Yes. Okay, I go. Thank you. Wonderful, everyone. I have a couple of things. Nikki before said about the human experience and how the bypassing the experience, and that's something that I think it's very important to highlight, because I have noticed in the spiritual community that bypassing the teaching, bypassing the experience is a sport that many like to practice a lot. There is this amazing experience, there is this amazing thing, but oh, I am awakened, I am this, I am that, so well, that's not for me, I'm superior to that. I've already done it, right? Oh, well, yeah, it's for the little people that these things happen, I am better than that. And that happens to some people often in this community. So that is something that can be challenging for someone to then realize that even that is an experience, obviously, but that is also an experience that keeps you there and doesn't allow you to integrate the experience and to learn for it or to grow for it or to ascend from it, right? This is one thing. So do not refuse the experience. Whatever the experience you are having is, have it, be it, accept it, and don't run away from it. Even if it's something that you aren't, it's not your taste, doesn't matter, have it and accept it. I think it's really very important. The other thing that I wanted to go through is some experiences that Kimberly, you wanted to go into overt, right? What is clearly there, what is maybe a little bit not clear or whatever. And these things happen a lot. So today I had an experience where I was discussing with my husband, and he wanted to say a word in the discussion. And he said a completely different word. And he said unemployment, which was absolutely not a word that was in our discussion. And I realized in the moment where he said the word, I realized, oh, that's a key word for me. He's not right. He didn't say the wrong word, or it's not a mistake. Take the word; it's for you. But also my awareness of it, it's what makes the word relevant, right? I'm doing it. It's me, right? It's still it and always me. So a teacher can really appear to you where you are not really expecting it to be there, right? I was absolutely in that discussion. I was not expecting anything to come to me, and that happens very often, discussions or whatever, right? Experiences, and suddenly poof. And then it's up to you to be up to the experience, so to take it in and run with it. Wherever you want to run, whatever you want to do with it, it's up to you, obviously, right? As always. And if you do not pick it up or whatever, it's still all right. You're not making it wrong. Yeah, that's all for it for now.
Thank you, Max. Just want to confirm, Jenny, did you want to pop in or not today? She's got her hands full today. That's all right. before we open it up to Q&A for the audience, I just want to touch on what everybody said today. So thank you, everybody. Everyone touched on some really good points there. And I do want to go into a little bit more this whole spiritual bypassing thing and this whole think positive thoughts thing. Exactly right. And Max, you pointed on that too, is that there is this thing about spiritual bypassing, that it is out there, you know, just to think happy thoughts and so forth. And I think there's some kind of misconceptions, which is all perfect. And like I said, we're all God creators here. So like, doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But there's this idea, there's this kind of narrative out there that we need to just think positive thoughts because, you know, that's how we manifest. But understand that if you don't actually address the inner shadows, it's still part of your vibration, even if you're aware of it or not. You know what I mean? So even if you think all the positive thoughts in the world, if that energy is still within your energy field, right? If you haven't dissolved it, but as well. And I think, Isabelle, you pointed on that, is that, you know, the processing never stops, right? So it's about having a balance, because like, yes, you when you start to process your inner shadows, you process, you know, your inner shadows, then you start processing all the collective inner shadows and all your multidimensional lives and all the lives you are living and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's endless, right? So it's kind of having a balance. And that's, I don't know who said it, but it's like, you know, when I think Roxanne said it, only when you're triggered in the moment by negative emotion, you know, you don't have to keep reflecting on it, right? Because it's kind of like, if you've got the negative emotion, and that's kind of like a message from the universe that this is a time to look at it, right? But if you're not having this negative emotion, you know, you don't need to look at it. You'll be triggered. If it hasn't been resolved, you'll be triggered by it again, right? Until you do. So it's all good here, right? So, and also with the manifestation process, I think there's an idea out there that, oh, if I focus too much, you know, with the negative emotion, or, you know, I'm going to attract more of that, or if, yeah, it's kind of like, it's just very interesting that this whole, you know, just think of happy thoughts. And yes, it is about seeing a higher perspective on what is occurring in your reality, and it takes time. So what Nikki said as well, we do need to really step into that emotion fully to see the soul lessons there. But if you can change your perception to the fear itself, you actually let go of the resistance to address it, right? Because if you're like, oh, I have this negative situation, negative thought, and you're resistant about it, you're not going to see the clarity there. And that's another thing too, is that, you know, the whole thing about manifestation, I don't know, there's like a narrative that perhaps maybe you're doing something wrong if you have a negative experience, you know, like you created, you did something wrong in your manifestation process, or, you know what I mean? That can create shame. So just understand that you didn't do anything wrong, right? If something happened in your reality, that's what we call as negative, or you have negative emotions, you know, some of us can be like, you know, oh, I should be more further along my path now. I should be just all love and rainbows and butterflies. And why do I have this fear? And then we judge ourselves, and especially the light workers, right? Because we tend to be very, you know, we can be judgmental on our own journey here, but we're human. We're much more than human, but we are still human, playing this paradigm of physical reality, going through the transition from a 3D reality. We are transitioning past that. Transition from duality to oneness remembrance. So it is okay to feel fear, and know if something is in your life that is negative, what you call as negative, understand it is for you. You didn't do anything wrong in the manifestation process, right? A lot of things that happened, especially themes in our reality that we call as negative, we chose that pre-birth, right? Because we wanted it to happen. And those, you know, in our reality that triggers us, like we've been talking about here today, they can also be part of your soul family, right? Earth, you have this group of people, and we have more than one, you know, soul family. You're like, okay, this lifetime, I want you to be my sister. And I want you to be my husband, and you're gonna play this being and that being. And then in another life, this person might be your mother. You know what I mean? You swap roles. So understand that those that trigger you the most, 100%, part of your soul family. And yes, your physical family is also one of your soul families too. So understand that it's all co-created. We all co-created this. So it's okay. And you know, it takes time, and it's okay if you cannot see the soul lesson straight away. It is okay if you're in fear for a number of days. It is okay. You're not doing anything wrong, but just understand it is for you. So it's just about letting go of the resistance to it. And even if you cannot see that, even if you cannot see the higher perspective, it is okay as well. It is just one step at a time. But I know that you guys that are watching this today, you want to remember more of who you are. Otherwise, you will not be here. So yeah, it's up to you. We all have free will here. You don't have to play the game. You can stay in victim mentality also. That's perfectly fine. It's part of creation, because we can't experience fear, right? Non-physical. Source, who we truly are, is unconditional love, unconditional acceptance, neutrality. But in the human paradigm, it is unconditional acceptance. So it's up to you if you want to you know, play an empowering game here, or be a victim and play the victim mentality role. Either way, all is perfect. So it's about letting go of the judgment on yourself, because I know, like, what I've seen is that many light workers on this journey can be very judgmental on themselves, you know, because something happens or you're in fear for a period of time, you know, and then you judge your journey, you judge your capabilities. You think, why can't I get myself out of fear? What's wrong with me? You know, I'm not powerful enough. And that's, you know, that's just limited thinking here. Understand that we're here to explore human paradigms of fear. It's for you in every way. It's just changing your perception to it. So it's just one step at a time, guys. So be easy on your journey. All right. I mean, we're here to give some insights and some perspectives on how you can see the master teachers in your reality. But if you can't, that's okay as well. You know, it's just practicing being in awareness in the moment with practice. And as you get more used to that practice, you'll start to have more awareness of your master teachers in your reality. So that's it. You know, you can't do anything wrong here, because we are all God creators. So it's just, you know, playing the game of physical reality, and it is a game of masters. So yeah, that's my little 2 cents. And guys, why don't we open it up to the audience for some Q&A? So guys, in chat, did you want to pop your questions in the chat and we shall answer them? All right, so I'm going to have a look here.
So
All right.
while you're looking, Kimberly, I have a
Yes.
little story for the audience. I'm at work and I hold many meetings, and I use analogies. I use kitchen analogies. I use children analogies. I use contracting analogies, whatever I can do to communicate a complex idea. Well, my manager's manager, the director, did not like how I conducted meetings. And it was so funny. She said, I can't remember the wording, but it sounded just like my mother. Like it could have came out of Francois's mouth. And I noticed it, and my first initial reaction was, fuck you. I didn't say it, but that's what I was thinking. I was thinking, my ego came in like, how dare you criticize me? How dare you, right? It was so funny. So the next meeting I was in, because it took me a while to process this, guys, like a week or two. But the next meeting, I was silent. I was just quiet. Oh, you want to explain things? Like the ego came in like, oh, you don't like my analogies? Well, go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead and explain. And of course, nobody understood anything. So people were chatting with me on the Zoom calls or whatever, and they're like, why are you so quiet? Why are you so quiet? And I said, no, it's okay. It's okay, you know. But then I knew, because it triggered me and it sounded just like my mother, I said, oh, shit. I got to go in. I got to go in. I got to go in and I got to do the soul work and I got to talk to little Isabelle and I got to calm my ego who, you know, is upset that somebody criticized me. And so I went in and I knew I could make a choice to be myself and say my analogies and trigger my manager's manager or whatever, or conform or whatever, right? So I worked with that. And then I knew that she was a master teacher. And so I energetically connected with her inner being. And I said, thank you. Thank you so much for saying my mother's words to me. Thank you so much for criticizing me. Thank you so much for triggering me. I really appreciate it. And I am so grateful for you saying those words to me because it allowed me to understand more of who I am. And you know what's interesting, guys? This is what's funny. So nobody knows I did this, but I went ahead and did this. And the next thing I knew, that manager's manager loves me. Oh my gosh, I love how Isabelle talks. Just totally did a 180. Loved how I conduct meetings, was so grateful for my personality. And the one thing she created, she turned around and now loved. And I went, well, isn't that curious that I did the inner work and now I'm experiencing a different aspect of her. And so you can't trick the universe, but I can tell you to be a Scooby-Doo detective. So when you are triggered, be a Scooby-Doo detective. Was that word, phrase, accusation, critical, whatever, that somebody criticized you? Was it from your childhood? Was it from your mom? Was it from your sister? Was it from a whatever? Be a Scooby-Doo detective because it is really for you to gain insight of who you truly are. So it is a game. And if you can soften it and being a Scooby-Doo detective, well, that's great. I love it. You know, we can have fun being triggered. You know, I know it's intense a lot of times, but we can be like Velma and go Jinkies.
It's wonderful.
Yes, yes, little Bijou's behind me.
It's great. We actually have thanks for sharing that. And you know, it's good that you share it because I think some people might think, oh, it's just easy to like work through the inner shadows in the moment. Sometimes it doesn't, you know, sometimes it takes time to work through it and it's okay. So it's just to be gentle on yourself. And I love how you said the situation change. And I've been able to do that. And I've been able to, with lots of practice, I've been able to do it in the moment when there's been lots of fear. I've just haven't said one word and just processed in the moment. All of a sudden, it just diffused without me saying a word. So you can do it in the moment. It takes practice. But then even for me, sometimes I can't do it in the moment. I need time to sit with it and process that. And it's okay. We're human, right? We're much more than human, but we are playing the human paradigm. So be easy on yourself, guys. All right. Well, I have some questions here. Let's go through them. If it was okay, how can light workers learn to seek comfort when we realize the way we think and receive information is so different? Does anyone want to jump on that and answer that?
Yeah, I'll jump on that. So, what is it? Terrell that said that? Yeah. Stop externalizing, because if it's so different, you're looking for a commonality outside of yourself that would take you to some point of comfort. The natural state of a creator is not pain, nor is it positivity. It's beyond that, and we can't describe it. It feels a hell of a lot better than joy, I can tell you that. It's a state of being a business, but what you're looking for is you're seeking comfort, which means you're lacking yourself in the idea of time. Because if you're now this pain and you are lacking saying, I need to be comfort, that means you're sustaining your relationship. Now, this is what today's all about, is seeing that if you are uncomfortable, that's a relationship of a belief system. So what you need to do is stop trying to look for comfort and commonality when we're all so different. Your individualism is what should revere. We all can't be the same. We're not the same. We're individual creators making up one idea creator, God. God said, oh, millions of me's, perfect. But each one of us is our own. So don't look externally for the commonality. Look to the internal self and says, why is this making me upset? Why am I not comfortable? What is my belief system of this externalization journey of coveting belief systems telling me that giving me the pain? It's not that person. It's not my manager. It's me. Kim just said it. It's not Kim. I'm sorry. Izzy. Kim, there it goes again. Just said it. It's not her. She's a bitch. I'm pissed. She reminds me of my mom, but you go be your awesome freaking self, and I'm going to do the internal work. Shift vibrations, become a different frequency, create a different relationship with that singularity, and now all of a sudden everything's is lollipops and rainbows, because she didn't put herself in a position of combative. Do you want to feed that hungry lion? Then prove to anyone that you're better and watch how you're going to sustain the war. Surrender to that self-interpretation. And then she might be an asshole or not, doesn't matter. But she surrendered to that. So what you got to look is, why are you seeking comfort? Because you have belief systems that are giving you an emotional relationship to pain. And since we only know the uncouched version of fear, because we chose the idea of separation to know not God, not the natural state of being of awesome beyond labeling, we are experiencing that. So don't objectify it outside of yourself and go, oh, wow, look at that. I'm upset. I need to get to comfort. I need to get better. I can't take enough drugs. I can't have enough money. Everything I do always leaves me empty. Why? Why? Because you have the belief system running the show. You have the narrative of the scripture that resides outside of you, whether it's preaching or teaching, that something outside of you is the foundation of happiness in an object. Pursuit of happiness is a fucking scam. Realized state of being, realized self through the journey. And as Kim said over and over again, you can't get it wrong. That's only your ego judging yourself for getting it wrong, or some other person say that's wrong, that you don't have to accept. You don't have to accept everything. Be yourself. Find that internal self. Now that's going to take courage, and that's going to take honesty, and that's going to take regret, and that's going to take absolute self-realization that I don't need to be comfortable because I'm on a journey of suffering. So let me go ahead and feel my suffering and understand I'm okay with that. Because in the now, if I can bitch about it, I must be okay. Do you ever realize how much you bitch, but you're still fine? How much uncomfortable, but right now you have the ability to get on a YouTube channel and talk about your discomfort. So you're really not that uncomfortable, but you are relating to a real belief system. And that's what this whole thing is today, is to recognize. Recognize the teachers around you. The teachers are relationships to reality. Whatever you relate, you create. I love the Seth work that he did with that. So look at that belief system of trying to get to comfort, and then all of a sudden everyone's out of whack because we're all so different. Well, good. I mean, I don't want every car to be white, every menu on the item be tacos, although Taco Tuesday is good. But got to have a steak, maybe a salad, shake and Coke or something like that. You know, variety is the eternal unconditional. The change is our journey of discovery. The permanency of humanity and seeking is the comfort of validity. You don't need to be validated when your own existence is self-aware. So look at that. Look at that idea from a different perspective. Because we don't want to give you answers. Because answers will give you a temporary idea. Relative relationships through answers that are different ideas, not externalized, internalized. Self-evident realization of the belief system, using surrender and humility to accept that, will show you don't need comfort. that you have belief systems that's keeping you from experiencing comfort because it's more valuable than your natural state. But that's the awakening. Journey well, Master. Go ahead.
Can I come in here? Just here is my experience during this last year with COVID and everything that is going on. I've been a lot at home and not going out a lot. I had a session with the Pleiadian, and the Pleiadian tell me, yeah, you are doing an amazing work in your neighborhood of light work. I said, okay, right. You're supporting yourself and everyone around, so you are a very enlightening piece in your neighborhood. And I was there, interesting, because I'm doing nothing. I am not aware of doing anything about this. And now they come in saying this, and I said, well, I can take this and make it something. Going, oh wow, I'm important. I'm doing a great job. Oh, look at me. Or I can just take this piece of information and say, great, good. I'm doing a good job with other beings around me. Good. Well, all right. Next. Why am I saying this? Because in what you're saying there, having comfort, I'm saying, as this is unfolding this year, I am tired. I'm feeling this. I'm feeling that. And I can go, I wish someone could comfort me. I wish someone could come in. But here is the thing. Light work is not about comfort. It's not about awareness. Seth speaks very well about this, saying a lot of the light work is even not conscious. It happens in other states of awareness, and you may, as a being, you may go and help other humans, and you are even not aware of these humans being alive, being incarnated in your human form. So, right, it's really something that is happening. You do not need to have all the information about it. It's still happening, and just allow it to happen. You do not need comfort. Believe me, you absolutely don't need it. You're doing the work. You're doing it. And sometimes you can feel tired. Yes, we all do. We all feel tired to one moment or another. But it's not because we need comfort. We may interpret it as human beings that we need comfort, we need something that it's not. No. We need absolutely everything is already provided for us. So keep going, keep doing it, because you are doing it.
Thank you, Max. Yeah, and thank you, Roxanne. I just want to give my 2 cents on this as well. Yes, we do receive information differently. That's perfect, because who are we? We're one, but we're unique frequencies of source. We are supposed to be different. We're supposed to interact differently. We are supposed to stand in our unique frequency. Me, I put my hand up. When I first started channeling, I used to compare myself with other channels. This is an example, because I didn't feel like, my capabilities perhaps were where I wanted to be when I first started. Perhaps I thought, I had to do it right, or my information has to match other channels, right? I had all these kind of perceptions of what channeling was, until I learned myself that it's not supposed to be the same. Light workers we're using the term light workers here today. So light workers is just anyone who feels a calling to empower others. It doesn't have to be in spiritual work. It doesn't matter, right? And even for me as a channel, this is an example. I can channel this, for instance, like a same being, right? Non-physical being, and someone else can channel the same being. And guess what? It'll be different information coming up. Why? Because it's coming out of our unique frequency. So once I learned that, I let go of attachments of me comparing my journey with other channels. And this is just an example of, whatever kind of light work you do or no light work, whatever you do in your reality, it's supposed to be unique because you are a unique frequency, right? So it's about letting go of comparisons of you and your journey. And I know for light workers, we can be harsh critics on ourselves. We judge our journey like, how come they are so advanced and how come they know more of their life purpose and blah, blah, blah. And why come I don't know this? And da, da, da. Okay, it's part of the human paradigm. It's okay. You are perfectly where you are on your journey for a reason, right? There's a reason why you are where you're at. So let go of any perception of time and pace. You're exactly where you're supposed to be in the pace in which you are traveling through your journey. Let go of comparisons of how you express your wisdom because it's unique. It's supposed to be unique. And that's what light workers do. It's like we activate unique beacons of light all around the world, all around the universe, really. And we create a network and we're supposed to be unique, a unique network. So other people as overt, right, teachers, people will be attracted to us in what resonates with them. And that's why we're unique. So embrace your uniqueness. It's okay if it's different to other people, even if it's exactly the same. Even like when you're like in my example, if I'm channeling the exactly same being, someone else can channel exactly the same being and have completely different information because it's coming through my vibration, which means I'm channeling a dimensional version of that being that relates to my vibration, right? So even the non-physical beings, even they are unique. You cannot channel the same, right? Even non-physical being, because it's coming through your unique frequency. So let go of the comparison. And I know it's hard because I had to do a lot of work to let go of that, of comparing my work with other people who do things similar to me. And when I did that, when I let go of comparing myself with others and the work with my work with others, my work blossomed because I was able to stand in my own power, stand in my own truth. It doesn't matter if people doesn't resonate with what I do because, or perhaps, they might go off to someone else and that's perfectly fine, right? So it's really about stepping into your authenticity, speaking your truth, being unique, standing in your own unique light. And about the whole thing about having comfort, it is about knowing that you're already safe. It's about being in loving acceptance of where you are at. Doesn't matter if you're in, okay, I know it can be difficult if you're in fear, but it's about being comfortable with where you're at in your journey. Let go of, detachments, the perception of like being, not comfortable. It's maybe perhaps, we could be putting pressure on ourselves, right? Pressure on ourselves, or, oh, I have to get to here. I have to get here, not here yet. And then now I feel uncomfortable. Or now I have to match these kind of journeys, for other people around me in my network. No, it's about being comfortable with where you're at. Live in the present moment. Understand that everything is a spiritual game here. Everything, knowing that your physical reality, what we perceive as mundane reality, is an advanced spiritual game here. The spiritual lessons in everything, right? It's about being in the present moments, being comfortable. And Isabelle mentioned it, living in the heart space. We are now, as a collective, really navigating our reality through the heart space. It's about feeling your way through physical reality, feeling your way through emotions, whether it is painful or not. We create our dimensional reality through our emotions. And what comes before emotions? Thoughts, yes. But it's about feeling your way. So it's okay if you feel fear. And it's okay if you feel love. Sometimes you might, there's also a narrative out there that maybe, oh, I don't deserve to feel this love. Like I feel a bit guilty, and embrace it. If you feel joyous, blissful, great, but it's also okay to have fear. So it's just about feeling your way through reality, being comfortable with where you're at, just one step at a time. But for me personally, when when I let go of comparing myself with everybody else, that's when I found freedom. So I invite you to do the same. This resonates. Thanks. Anyone else want to jump in on that? No? All right, I'm just seeing if there's any other questions.
I think I saw.
Go on.
I saw a question from Jennifer, I think.
Yep, I see it now. Do my little scroll. All right, question is, I'm trying to figure out when wanting to walk away from these triggering teachers is my own intolerance, and when it is that I've truly learned the lesson I need to learn. Did you want to jump on that, Nikki?
Yeah, that's a good question, because I have some fresh experience with that. So first of all, I did just want to say a little thing about celebrating your uniqueness, and it ties in with what you were just saying, Kimberly, which is that everybody is unique. And you know what? You can't wish your way into feeling unique and accepting yourself. This requires work, okay? So you have to roll up your sleeves and get in there. And so the one quality I would add, because Roxanne had quite a few lists, would be patience, okay? Because it's sort of like the conditioning from before I started these teachings. That's how it works. Like, as soon as I have an awareness, I want it to immediately take effect. It's like all this information that we're sharing, or these experiences that we're sharing, it stays up in the head a while, and then we have to be triggered, and then we have to have these experiences that move it into a reality. But it takes time. So the question about walking away and being intolerant, I just want to say that so when somebody's triggering you, or quite a few people are triggering you, you can totally walk away. You just walk into another individual who will continue to trigger you. It'll be a whole new set of souls, but there will be more people triggering you, because if it's continuing to happen, then the beliefs have not been reduced enough for you to not require that mirror. So of course it is for you. Love your intolerant self. That's another thing, right? It's like, love the part of you that gets pissed off and that just wants it to go away. And you know what? I do want to give a hopeful message to say, it does get better. It doesn't mean that we aren't free of triggers once we've elevated our vibration to I don't know what, it's like, it's just, it's like that experience I shared at the beginning about witnessing that feeling and that emotion of sadness or whatever it was, sort of connecting it to something, and then, letting it move through me. So it's kind of like, sometimes it's still thinking that the external conditions need to be different, or that it's me, but either they're wrong or I'm wrong, but it's all wrong in any case, right? So I guess the best possible approach is to really trust in your exploration of reality, knowing that everyone that is in your reality, and every event and context that occurs in your reality is what you need in order to be freer, to release some of these beliefs that, as Roxanne said, are driving, how you're living your life. So that is the work. It's about recognizing these beliefs, and the triggers are the tools that help us to recognize them. Now, I'm not saying be grateful for these triggers, because it's really hard to do that when you're having all these emotions that are uncomfortable. So the first thing for me is really just, like Roxanne said, stepping away from the outside reality, just tuning into who you are and feeling whatever it is that the person or people are stirring up within you, and then love yourself feeling those feelings. Love yourself with all those judgments. Love yourself for the experience you're having, even if it's not comfortable, right? And maybe even allow yourself to become that little girl. Just bring her out, you know, because she's there, your younger self, and you can soothe her. Because oftentimes for me, when I'm reacting to something, it's related to that belief that was established when I was little. You know, usually before 7, we get a whole bag of them, and then we repeat and repeat and repeat. So your intolerant self is so incredibly lovable. So please love her, and she will be less intolerant as you continue to love her. That's what I have found, and I hope that helps, Jennifer.
I want to jump in, Nikki. I wholeheartedly agree. I call it the shadow work, or I call it Jedi work, or I call it soul work, or I even call it Scooby-Doo detective work. Whatever it is, it's going within. But if you feel overwhelmed, if you are not gaining insight, what your limiting belief is or what your belief is, if you find yourself going round and round in a circular kind of conversation or a ping-ponging conversation, that is a clue that you're in the ego mind, because the ego will never have answers. So if you find yourself like saying things over and over again, and then you circle back to it, and then you want to change the condition and you go back to it, that's just a clue for you that you're in your ego mind and that you're not in the heart center, that you're not connecting with your inner being, that you're not seeing it from a higher perspective. And sometimes in order to go into your heart center to understand what your heart is trying to tell you, you have to reduce that fear. So when you are being triggered, you can practice in that moment. I am mad, I am hurt, I want to kill them somehow, or stop it, or run away, or hide, or tell them they're wrong, and it's okay. I'm going to allow myself to feel all of this, to judge it as wrong, to cry, to stomp my feet, whatever it is, but I know there's a message for me. And just start there, baby steps, just a baby step. Just try to practice that in the moment. And I'm telling you, what will happen is your fear will be reduced because you're not resisting it. You're not resisting the event. You're not resisting that person. You're not resisting the teacher. You are allowing it to be. You are allowing yourself to be. And just practice with that. And hopefully you'll find that helpful. And you can let us know if that works in our next meeting 2 weeks from now.
Thank you. That's wonderful. Does anyone else want to jump in? I think we've wrapped it up. I think with questions. Does anyone want to jump on that as well?
Yeah, let me just say something real quick. There might be something you're not looking at here, Jen, just real quick. When I felt the vibration of your question, the intolerance was not the intolerance of you as a belief system. I think you've transcended a lot of that triggers on this particular idea. You might have some other diarrhea to work on, but that's your work. But you remember how when you put your hand on something hot, you never did it again? I think you keep going back. I think you're going back because your ego is selling you a story. You need to listen to more spiritual teachers to be something. And you're going to these spiritual teachers and you're past this work. You're a high school graduate, you're a college student, you're graduated from college, and then all of a sudden they're telling you to go back to first grade and you got to do the work. No, I don't have to do the work. I know this shit. So I think that's the intolerance from this certain perspective, is you've already done this work, but you might be motivated by an ego system itself to saying, if I go to different ideas in this moment goes, do I need to listen to this channel? They're triggering me. Is it me that they're triggering? Is it my belief system? Is it an emotion? Or is it, I've heard this shit, I got to get the fuck out of here. But your ego's going, no, it's an important lesson. You got to fucking stay here and be something. No, fuck that shit. Because you can't fail. Because you're already a God. You can't fail this. This is a fucking journey of awesomeness. That's all it is. So look at that perspective for a moment. Make sure you're just not triggered in emotion. You're triggered in, why do I keep doing this? Oh, this is a hammer. Ow, God, hang on. I'm not sure that hurt enough. Ow, God. Yeah, okay, I'm done. I got it. So that right there might be on a certain frequency that doesn't resonate, and that's why it's becoming triggering, because you're dumbing yourself down into a frequency that you've evolved. So just choose. Be a master, because you can't fuck it up. Okay? Booyah.
I love it. Yes, you can't do wrong. 100%. And you're asking about walking away from these triggered teachers is your own intolerance. And you're wanting to know when you've truly learned the lesson. Well, guess what? You're never going to stop learning. So there's no end point to reach, right? So look, listen to your guidance. You can still heal from a relationship, right? Let go of the resentment, work through that pain, get to a place of loving acceptance. You might be at a point where you feel guided not to have physical contact. That's okay. Or you might decide that you can be in physical contact, So there's no wrong or right answer, just what Roxanne said. So understand that we are never going to stop learning here. So embrace it. There's no end point to reach. There's no goal to reach. It's just about embracing reality. And, sometimes it might be difficult, but we're here to experience reality. We're here to experience duality, right? And only the most advanced beings are here right now playing this game. So guess what? If you are living and breathing in this physical reality, guess what? You are a master teacher. And that is enough. You don't have to reach a certain point. You don't have to, express some, some light workers, we feel like we have to express some really big life purpose here. Guess what? All you need to do is be you authentically. Even that, you don't have to do that. Be who you want. You are God creators. So just, if you want to remember more of who you are, just, practice being more in the present moment, being aware of your triggers. If you want, you can create through fear as well, and that's also perfect. So you can't actually do anything wrong, just what Roxanne said. So, practice loving your journey, practice loving acceptance if you can. And, I know Yeshua teaches this a lot, and I channel Yeshua. He talks a lot about forgiveness. And in a higher truth, there is nothing to forgive. But if you're attached to resentment, right, forgiveness can be an antidote for that. Forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and that helps to release the resentment there. But understand in higher truth, they are just all playing a role for you. So if you can see that people are playing a role for you out of love, you'll come to a point where you feel like, yes, I feel from a place of love, I can walk away, or no, I don't want to walk away. So whatever you decide, if you can, try and get to a point of acceptance. If you can get to a point of acceptance, then which is a vibration of love, you will know whatever action you choose, it'll be for the highest good. It'll be what's best for you. So you can let go of, any attachments of, what do people think if I walk away or if I stay? Just whatever you feel is best for you. It's okay. It doesn't matter. You can't get it wrong. But, if you want to fine tune yourself to the inner wisdom, then do that shadow work. Or not, and that's perfectly okay as well. But yeah, if you can do your shadow work, you will have more clarity on which step to take. One that is based on love, not fear. The choice is yours. Wonderful. All right. Well, I think that's it. Let me just check. Do you guys see any other comments here? Chat, I think we'll wrap it up.
I didn't see anything else, but let me just say one more thing about what you said. Life, we're always learning, right? But don't use that as a human context and you're going to be tested. You're not responsible for your learning. Take that paradigm off. It's not the responsibility, it's the ability to respond. That's the self-discovered. It's always an expression of journey forever. There's no doubt, but we're not learning because we're not going to get tested. We're learning because we're experiencers of self. So make sure you don't put like, God, I got to learn again. When's the test? Is it open book? So don't put that pressure on yourself.
Yeah, Roxanne, I mean, I actually call it learning and teaching, and that's just my vocabulary. But
still,
really, in reality, it is about the journey and your experience. That's it. It's just about experience. And it's for the sake of experience that we are experiencing ourselves as unique individuals through source. That's it. And so, I absolutely 100% agree with you. So it can soften it, it can soften it. But there's insight to those experiences. It's understanding more of who you are, of the self-discovery. Because like we really do have amnesia. We really have no idea who we are. And as we go through this journey and interact with our friends and our brothers and sisters, we reflect each other, and then we get to see our own light reflected in their light, and we see all this beautiful light, and the darkness is even the light. And so that's another big concept, and maybe that will be my subject matter on the next call about darkness. So I think I'm hosting next anyways. And but yes, so it is about experience. And thank you, Roxanne, for highlighting that, because I do think we need to let them know that.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, everybody. Does anyone else here want to jump in before we wrap it up? Anyone want to have some last comments in relation to that question?
Yeah, let me just. I was, as you were all talking, I just got reminded of some experiences I had back in the, let's say, beginning, searching for stuff and being led into a awakened TV station, let's say like that, and watching some shows on the internet about awakened people and with teachers and very great people doing the work and this and that. And I've arrived to a moment where I reacted to what was saying, and I had very strong reactions where I came to some moments where I wanted to kill the guy. And I had a moment where I was saying, "Oh fuck! What am I doing? Why am I right? I haven't learned something here. I'm doing it wrong or whatever." And then I realized, no, it's not that. It's that the guy is just saying bullshit. He's just out of everything. What he's saying is going nowhere, and it doesn't exist. So I realized there that my reaction to what was said and what was happening, I showed myself my ability to understand, to read the room, to read what was said, what was happening, and being able to relate to it, to understand if that is vibrating with me or not. right? Because that's the key thing here is the vibration. I was not vibrating at the same rate as what was said, as those teachers. So I had the refusal of it. So I am now able to understand that I am not wrong in my reaction. Something is off in the connection. So it's not for me. Move on, right?
Thank you for sharing, Max. And I think we'll wrap it up here, guys. I just want to say a big thank you as well to all the panelists here today. Thank you, Max, for playing your crystal bowls. It was beautiful. Thank you so much for everyone here sharing today. And thank you to you that is watching this live or watching this on the replay. Thank you. It is a co-creation. So, you know, you're here today watching this because there's something here for you. You attracted this into your reality. So, yeah, I hope you get some tidbits from this session and go away and, yeah, live your life. Have fun and play because this reality is a game, and it's okay if you feel angry. It's okay. And that's another thing I just want to point as well in relations to emotions. There's a narrative that it's wrong to feel anger, right? There's nothing wrong with feeling anger. Embrace it. What I'm finding that there's a lot of shame. Someone experiences anger and having difficult to manage that. You know, they have then shame that they had anger or expressed anger. It is okay. We're human. Yes, we're much more than human, but you need to feel your emotions fully for you to transmute them. So it's okay. Let go of the shame, let go of the judgment, and let go of the comparison to others, and be your authentic self, because that's where you find freedom. And that's where you discover your master teachers. And guess what? You are a master teacher. So at some point, you can search for all the teachers that you want outside of yourself. There'll come a point where you might want to go inwards and listen to the wisdom within. For all that is within you. All the information that we discussed today, you already know this, but you might doubt yourself. So go within and then you'll have your answers. So thank you all for being here today. The links of everybody here today, all the panelists, are on the original, the live stream. So I think on the replay, if it's not there, I'll pop it in again. So if you're interested to learn more about us, then I invite you to visit those links and discover more about us. And yeah, and I think, is it Isabelle? You're next, is it?
I think so too. So May 9th is next week. It's the following week, but I don't know what date that is.
May 16th.
Thank you. Thank you, love.
Yep.
So May 16th, we'll be back here again, talking about darkness. Dun, 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 dun.
And I love that topic, Isabelle, because there's a lot of misconceptions about what is darkness and what is fear. So I think that's a perfect one to do. And I know that, I know, because I know shadow work, the Jedi work, that's a powerful tool to use in your ascension journey. So being able to recognize it, being able to use it to empower your life,
Mhm.
Great stuff. I'm looking forward to it, and looking forward to having you all back in a fortnight. So everybody have a wonderful day or night wherever you are around the world, and love and light to you all, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, YouTube. Bye-bye. Bon voyage.